All right, I'm live. Greetings. Good morning. And you're on to Augustine. As usual, I'm here to give us a summary of the founders meeting. Yesterday was the 6th of November 2023. We are quickly coming to the end of this year, and time flies so fast, you know. So, you guys are welcome to my channel, and I do appreciate the fact that you've been consistent in watching to keep yourself informed and up to date. And my special regard goes to those who watch my channel and are still present in the mass adoption meeting or founders meeting. So today I'm here to give us a quick update on the event that took place yesterday. So if you're tuning into my broadcast for the first time, you're welcome to my channel. Do well to like the channel, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet subscribed, and then click on the notification bell and then select all so that anytime I'm live, you can get the notifications. That said, let's launch into the main program, which is the summary of yesterday's meeting. It was anchored by our brother, um, Dr. Sorry, actually, it was a collaboration between Dr. Kardashian and CJ, which is brother Bederick. And the details of it was handled by the administration, which is Admin Scott. And we went through a whole lot of activities in the meeting yesterday. The first activity began by the administration coming on board and then quickly summarizing. One thing I love about the administration is that he's very quick in summarizing. He doesn't beat about the bush. He takes his time, and then within the next few minutes, he's over with what he's saying. So when he came in yesterday, he made the community understand that he's bent on seeing that we grow back our membership to how it was as at during the time the previous admin was in charge, which is admin Jack Freeman. And his concern was the fact that once upon a time, sometime last year, we were able to go about several kinds of goodwill. I mean, we took part in several kinds of goodwill, 10,000 per ambassador. And I was one of the ambassadors who anchored the goodwill that took place yesterday, sometime April or so last year. And there was the Philippine goodwill, there was that in South Africa, and then there were other places like Cameroon, like Ivory Coast, and like a series of other places. When you log into the Kringle Cash, you are going to see it under goodwill. There were a good number of places we affected their lives, and the administration's concern was that how I wish we can grow back our membership base to that level. And he has done everything possible to make that a reality. Some of the things he has done, now I'm giving us an update of what the administration, talked about in the meeting yesterday. Some of the things he has done to create a favorable environment, he's trying to see that he gives each and every one of us the required status. This status is becoming a world changer, either as a billionaire or as a millionaire. And in the category of billionaires, there is administrative cadre billionaires, and there are the conventional billionaires, and then the millionaires. Of course, the millionaires are more. So he's trying to give each and every one of us an enabling status, and that enabling status has to come with paying the necessary price. And of course, he's trying to make it comfortable for everyone. He's also creating the favorable environment. And the environment he's creating, number one, he has looked at the community and seen that some people are not comfortable with their upline. So he has given room for people to change their upline. He has said it and he's reiterating again that members can go ahead and change their upline. The reason why you are changing your upline is whenever you are paying your subscription fee, you are holding someone accountable for guiding you through. And it doesn't mean that you should be docile and do nothing. No, it means you have to also make efforts to find out one or two things. Where you are not so sure, you need further clarifications, then you meet your upline, and your upline can take time to discuss with you. Now, it's the responsibility of an upline to have meetings with their downline occasionally, or would I say regularly, as the case may be. But then the upline should make sure that he creates a kind of family relationships with their downline, so that their downlines can be brought up to speed with what's going on and no one will be left behind. That's the intent of the administration, and that's why he has created the opportunity for people to change their downlines. Now, the administration has also taken time to be as transparent as possible. We're about to go into the details of some of the things that he has done. Now, in order not to misquote the administration, he has taken his time to let the community know that each time he makes a meeting, he puts it on the blog. So he's advising that the community pay attention to the blog. That's what he's asking the community to do. If you're a member in this community, you're not paying attention to the blog, then you're not doing the right thing. He's asking you guys to cultivate the habit of paying attention to the blog as often as you can. You should make sure that each time you wake up in the morning, you've had your relationship with your creator and you've finished with what you are supposed to do. Make sure you check out the blog in the morning. You could also check out the blog in the night. That's exactly how the administration is asking members of the community to start working now. If we are going to grow a community that is organized, if we are going to grow an informed community, then emphasis has to be laid on the education side of it. Because if you're uninformed, then you are deformed. If you are uninformed, you are deformed. So the administration advised that people should pay rapt attention to the blog, because there are a whole lot of information that he puts and he usually puts on the blog. So apart from that, also he said that this week we are going to go about agents distribution. Agents that has been receiving fundings since the inception of the agent donation program are going to get it now, but then he's going to put the Privy Council as a go-between. The Privy Council's responsibility is to evaluate. The Privy Council's responsibility is to study and see if these agents are worthy of handling goodwills. One of the criteria is that an agent should be at least above 18 years. Another criteria of an agent is that he should be in lawful standing with the community. These are the two things that the administration has required of members in the Privy Council. The Privy Council will work as a team. They will not work in isolation, they would work as a team. So individuals who are interested in doing goodwill should go and meet the Privy Council and then book an appointment with the Privy Council, and then they look into your matter. And if they are satisfied by whatsoever you have brought to them, of course, you should be in rightful standing. Of course, you should have received your SBFC. That's one of the criteria. If you haven't yet received your SBFC, then that means there is a question mark that is with your accounts. So you should make sure you have received your SBFC. And you should also be sure that you are not selling. You are supposed to hodl. For now, we are still in the process of hodling. This is the early stage of SBFC, just like it was some time ago with Bitcoin. We started small, and then Bitcoin is where it is today because they understood the principle and they followed through the principle. It was all encrypted into the system. Ours is going to be different because we are people-based, we are people-backed. So we have to make sure that individuals should be cooperating with what the system is telling them to do. Failure to comply with that, then we see you as not in lawful standing or not in rightful standing with the community. Therefore, you will not be approved as an agent. Therefore, you will not receive anything that is supposed to be allocated to you. So these are the things the administration did talk about. And then after that, the next thing that came up was that we had a meeting. We had a kind of training, and that was anchored by our beloved brother, Dr. Kaudasha. He took his time to talk about liquidity in the community. And now I'm going into the next phase of this summary of the founders meeting, which is going into the blog and then pointing out some salient points to the community. And after which we look into the training that held yesterday, and then we call this meeting to a close. All right, on that said, remember to like, remember to share, remember to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. My responsibility is to keep the community informed, keep the community up to date. That's my heartbeat. That's my desire. And it should be the desires of every member in the community who is willing to grow this community. We should have a positive mind towards growing the community. Some of us have a passive mind. You may be acting up, you may be taking part in everything, but passive means you are not willing to expand the community. That's not how it should be. You should be confident in what you are doing because you know that this will change the world. except you are not confident. You are still thinking that after 7 years, that we may still have the possibility of falling apart. No, we have exceeded the point where people will look at us and think that we are a scam. The only thing we require of you is to be accountable, personal responsibility. Many people want people to save them, and that's the system the elites created to make you think that there is a savior, and maybe the savior is your government or whoever it is that you think is your savior, or your bank, or whoever you're affiliated or associated with. In our community, we see everyone as equals. We see everyone as in the same category, irrespective of whatsoever. Whether you choose to be an ambassador, a privy council member, the responsibility required of you as a floor member is the same responsibility required of members who are in the privy council. There is no difference. The only difference is that the privy council are the first category of people working with the administration to see how things are done the right way. I can refer to them as the first category of the government. Over time, we are going to create 111,111 active members who will become administrators in the system. They will be trained likewise, and they would coexist with the privy council to make decisions. They are going to create legislations, create things that will make the community very good. So I want you guys to understand that it's a process. It's going to happen one step at a time. With that said, let's go into the blog and then look into a few things the administration has said. All right. I think my screen is now being shared. Now, this is the meeting that was held yesterday, and members of the community can do well to watch this meeting. So this is actually the BDERIC's channel. So do well to read through. Now, this is the educational part of our founders meeting today, given by Dr. Kyle Dasher. Please share this video and check back often to the blog for more shared education. So where we are is a point where we have to get ourselves properly informed. And if you're not informing yourself appropriately, I don't know how far you will go in this community. We have to have a community of informed people, not third-party information. You need to hear it directly from the source, and that source is our community blog. With that said, let's move into the SBC community updates. Now, this is the update the administration talked about. He emphasized that members should study this blog. He emphasized that members should take their time to study it, because people are not taking their time to study. He advised that people take their time to study and understand what this is all about. Take their time to study, to understand everything that the administration has said. There are a few things he talked about. One of the things that he talked about has to do with the fact that he has reduced the subscription fee. He reduced the subscription fee so that a good number of people can pay their subscription fee. He also said that if the community doesn't comply as they should, then, well, it's up to you, it's up to him to decide what he will do. Now, there is something that will happen, and then the administration will see the community is responding positively, and he would leave it at $22. There is a possibility. I'm not saying that that's a must. I'm saying that there is a possibility. Now, for instance, if we build our membership base to 5,000 this month of November, then the administration can consider leaving it on $22 for the month of December as well. And then if we can get to 7,000 by December, then he can decide to expand it further. Remember that by January, we are going to enjoy admin credit. For those who had admin credit for the month of June, he would open it up again for the month of January. And he may also decide to give us, every member in the community, free admin credit so that we can grow and bring in at least one person. If our membership base by January, by December is about 7,000, he can open it up so that by January, each person can bring in one person. And then we double, which means by January, we are going to be 14,000. And then by February, he may still leave it at $22 so that everybody can pay their subscription fee. That's going to be humongous. Remember as well that this will have a positive impact on the price of SBFC. If we are 14,000, of course, you should be looking at the price of SBFC at about $70 or about $80. And that's a positive one for us. And as our membership grows, the value of our SBFC as well appreciates. That's what we talked about in our meeting yesterday. So these are some of the things he talked about, which he would want the community to take time to study, understand. If you have questions to ask, you can as well ask your questions. Now, he talked about TBC, K-Love, DGR, FarmWorld, Joy, SBFC, and SBC, which he took his time to talk about here. In summary, of course, he did talk about the beginning of our community started with TBC, and then over time we moved into K-Love, and then over time we had GGR, which was supposed to be backed by gold with time. And then a lot of things happened along the line. He talked about Farm War. He also talked about Joy G. So take your time to study all the information that has been put here by the administration. If you have not yet done so, I think everybody in the community that is willing to build in this community should have studied this by now and should have known what to expect. Now, this is so long. I can't take my time to explain everything in details. No, but they are just something I want to point to our attention, which I want everybody to pay attention to. Okay, so that's hold on, let me see if I can get it. Okay, so um okay, let me, there's a lot he talked about, but there was something that piqued my attention. Now, there are a whole lot of informations that I have had over the past, okay? And then with this blog, everything has been debunked. All right. So I had a whole lot of information from the previous administration, and I've been working with it until the present administration had to override it. Now, it doesn't matter what the previous administration had said before. Okay, what now matters is the person holding the mantle is this present administration, who is Admin Scott. And I have to take my time to emphasize on the things he has said so that people will understand. Some people don't know what he has said. Some people read, they don't understand. Some people give their own interpretation. People don't associate themselves with each other to know what the administration has to say. Well, I'm in a position to find out from the source what he meant by the information he has put out here. But of course, it's written in black and white. Anyone with common sense should know what he's saying. So I want to just quickly read so that we get this, and that'll be it. Now, SBC is currently valued at 25 USDT. And then this is our introductory price and will remain at 25 USDT until the membership reaches 5K. At that time, the price of SBFC will go up. Now, at 7,000 active members, at 10,000 active members, the price goes up even more. So take note of what he's saying. So the first thing he's looking at is 5K. The price will change, maybe to $30. At 7K, possibly the price will go to $40. And then at 10K, it could go to $50. Something like that. Okay. Now the price goes up even more. Now, as we rebuild our numbers, the price of SBFC will go up. It won't go down until SBFC is public. Take notes. So as long as the membership appreciates, the value remains where it is until we go public. Now, we don't know when it will go public, but if you ask me, we're looking at the price of SBFC getting to something huge. We're looking at the price of SBFC getting to anything from at least between $5,000 to $10,000 or more before we feature in the public. Let me say it again. We are looking at something huge, preferably from 10,000 and above. We are looking at the price moving up. We've learned so much lessons over the past. One of the lessons we've learned is that the community are out of control once it's in the public. We cannot decide how we are going to, maneuver it if it's in the public, or will I say it's a bit more difficult to deal with the community when it's in the public. A very good example was what happened during K-Love, and then the other one was during Joy G. There were a lot of activities by bad players in the community, and it really crippled the community to an extent. Some of the things that we're going through was because of why those bad actors did what they did. So once the liquidity is good enough to sustain the price of above $10,000, then we can put it in the market. And at that point, it will be impossible for a member to be able to buy one coin at that point. And the administration is shouting that people should do it now because at that time, it's not going to be possible. Now, I also want us to know that the administration has the authority, the rights, the ability to shut down someone, to freeze someone's account If the person is involved in something that is unlawful by the community, if you go about selling when you're not supposed to, or selling beyond what you should sell, the administration can freeze your account. This applies to everybody in the community. There are no exceptions. So, as a member in this community, you must be law abiding. If you are not given to being law abiding, then you should go to the public domain. There are decentralized coins out there, work with them. Our community is a centralized system. You must be law abiding if you're going to move far. If you're unwilling to do that, then, well, that's the choice you have made. All right, now moving forward. So get your investments in SBFC while the price is low. We are only expecting it to go up. That's what the administration is saying. Now let's look at this. Now this is the one that you know took my attention most of all the updates the administration has put out. This was the one that piqued my attention the most. In fact, there were two things that piqued my attention, which I would also talk about, and then I think that'll be all. So those of you who are watching me, if you have your questions to ask, do well to write out your questions and ask. Those of you who will watch me later, the comment section is there. Do well to ask your questions so that I can respond to your questions. I also appreciate those who asked their questions previously and I responded. Some of you ask questions and you are not willing to actually pay the price. Some of them ask the questions that how soon are we going to use SBFC? And they are willing to attend one's adoption meeting. There are some questions I can't give you an answer to. And if you're going to ask, you have to come for the meeting because I'm not in the position to give the answer. There are hierarchies in this community, and I'm just part of those hierarchies, simple and short. I am not the owner of the organization. The community is the owner, and the person who initiated the project is, in this case, the administration. Therefore, the question should be pointed to him. He is in the right position to answer that question, not myself. All right, so let's continue. SBFC is not equal to JOIG. Now, I want to correct this premonition. I want to correct this instance, this mindset, which I also had, which I've also been corrected, even though it's not so palatable, but I have to also speak it out so that the community will know. I do not know how well people will watch this video. I do not know how far it will go, but I know that I give out information that are very credible. And it's not my responsibility to give out this information and still go and tell the community to watch it. I think the people should take their time to watch information because I'm giving the right thing. If you choose not to, then you're uninformed. And if you're uninformed, then you're deformed. And when you're deformed, you make wrong choices. And when you make wrong choices, it goes back against you. So choose how you want to go about spreading these informations if you want to. Moving forward, SBFC is not equal to JOIG. Now, nor is it equal to K-Love. Now, of course, K-Love is now a thing of the past, okay? But the administration now is telling you that SBFC is a product of the experience we have learned over the past 7 years, and they can never be equated, JOIG and K-Love. The previous administration did tell us about double match, quadruple match, if you can remember, those who are old members. Now, this particular paragraph has debunked anything that has to do with quadruple match. It has debunked anything that has to do with associating that quadruple match with SBFC in the future. It was clearly written out here. Let's read it out and then give out the interpretation. There are no connections. Listen, there are no connections. There are no correlations. There are no matches to these coins with SBFC. Are you seeing that he has used this to debunk everything that has to do with an equal match, even if it's a peer-to-peer? In my previous broadcast, yes, the administration did say it in the meeting, that it won't be a one-on-one. That was what he said. It won't be a one-on-one, yes. But from this now, he's clearly saying that there will be no associations in any way. So what this clearly states or implies is that we are starting again. We are starting from the beginning. That's exactly what it means. And we are starting this time with proper surveillance, proper monitoring of SBFC, so that we don't make the mistake we made in JOIG. We don't make the mistake we made in K-Love, and we don't make the mistake we made in TBC. That's why SBFC now is there. And the individuals who has had as much as K-Love or JOIG, whatever they've had, now there is a question mark to that effect. The administration did not say what he will do with quadruple match. Everybody will get their quadruple match, provided you're active. Okay? Listen, provided you are active by December, you will get your quadruple match. But I want you to understand that the coins are not domiciled in the hands of this present admin. This present admin has a very limited fraction of SBFC. He clearly told us, Privy Council, that he was giving about 1,000 coins of Joy G, and he has judiciously expended it with or during the agent donation program. So he has less than 100 coins. As at now, I speak to you, it's very little. And every information is put there. If you look at it in the blockchain, you will see there. The K-Love, the Joy G blockchain, the informations are there. I don't know which of you will know which is the admin wallet, but I am not going to go about it now. I just want you guys to know that the administration, admin Scott, doesn't have what it takes to continue to redeem the quadruple match. It is in the hands of the previous administration. Therefore, if anybody is going to cause you to enjoy your quadruple match, it means that the previous administration will come in and give it to you. But of course, even the previous administration wouldn't give it to you at a low price. He knows that if he gives it to you at a low price, then all of you will crash the price of Joy G, and Joy G goes to zero. He knows that. Therefore, the present administration has made it a condition that for you to access SBFC, you must have to deposit Joy G so that you soak up the remaining excess of supply that is in PancakeSwap to see if the price can go up. And of course, when this will happen, there will be bad actors that will see the price go up and they will sell. Provided there are new members that will come into the community, they would buy up the excess of it until there is a stable level of Joy G. I don't know what that will be, So looking into the future, SBFC is going to be the system that we'll be working with going forward. And as the membership appreciates, of course, for those members to deal with our private exchange, they must also have to become agents. So the Joy G SBC will exist side by side. But the truth is that SBFC will have more value than Joy G. And where the community gets to understand what it takes, as it is, as I speak with you, the bulk of the people holding the chunk of Joy G are not members of the community. They are speculators. They are holding it because they know that the price will go up. It's unfortunate because they know that when it goes up, they will sell. So they have created a long-term problem for Joy G. And for us to correct that anomaly, it will take a very long while. And that's why the administration does not want to associate Joy G again with SBFC. Some people have so much coins because they got it from TBC and then K-Love and then Joy G and all that. So it is assumed that everybody that are old members should let bygones be bygones and move forward if you want to grow this world and grow this community for the better. Now, if you're going to make the right choices, if you're going to make, informed decision, then it's going to take some actions that will affect some people. It will pain some people. Some people will not like the fact that the administration is trying to say everyone starts again. But this time, starting again is not just starting again, but you have 7 years of experience and you're going to do it much better than you did before. And that is what the administration is saying. So those of us who have our quadruple match, you will have your quadruple match by December, but you will not be able to access it. It is now based on how the membership grows that will determine what will be done with the Joy G, which will play out sometime next year. We don't know what it is. In this blog, the administration did not explain in details what he's going to use it to do, if he will have access to it. If he will have access. As at now, he doesn't have access. I told you he has very little amount of coins. And if the previous administration does not show up to give you what is rightfully yours, of course, the present administration is teaching you the rules that are required of you to keep up with those coins using SBFC. And it is expected that every member that will have the quadruple match of Joy G, if that will happen, are supposed to be law-abiding. And that will play out sometime next year. So in conclusion, the admin is telling you that it is its own entity and should not be conflated. Of course, you know what conflated looks like. We can't merge it. There are two separate entities. They exist side by side. No SBC match will be given for K-Love or Joy G. This was put out in black and white. Everyone is seeing it. Although we took a snapshot of holders of JOIG on October 4th, 2023, those snapshots are used for a split, meaning that those holding at that time, at the time, will receive the same quantity of SBFC as they have in JOIG, regardless of the price. So this is what the administration is trying to tell us, that you should not get it confused. JOIG is now on its own. SBFC is now on its own. The point I'm looking at, the thing I'm looking at here is there may be no possibility of members who held JOIG to be able to have the same worth of it in SBFC. The possibility may never exist again. So take note of this information. And if you're going to get your SBFC split, you know what the conditions are. He has put it out here. You have to be an active member. You should have not violated the huddle rules for JOIG, and you should also make sure that you have verified your accounts. Now, another thing he has also said is that he will take responsibility for the previous coins that are in the exchange. Anything that is outside of the community is not in his jurisdiction. So those who have farm war in the exchange, deal with it. But there are people who have those who have farm war in the public domain, deal with it. Public domain is BSC scan, not under the control of the KCBO. So he's trying to tell us that if you had KLove in your KCBO, that is in the exchange, that he will look into it in the future. Same thing applies to GGR. Same thing applies to farm war. Same thing applies to the stakings. He said he will look into all these things. It was put out here. I'm not going to go into details. So take your time to study, understand. But that can only be done when the membership has appreciated. To me, that's a good one. He's taking responsibility. You know, it's debt that was incurred from the previous admin, but he has agreed to sort it out when the time is due. Yes, I know how he's going to sort it out, but I want to wait until that time comes so that the community will know about it. Okay. So that's the summary of the mass adoption meeting or founders meeting, which held yesterday. And I think I'll be bringing this meeting to a close. It's a very comprehensive article the admin gave, very comprehensive. So people should do well to look through it. If you have your questions, now is your time to ask your questions so that I can give you answers. Okay. So good morning, sir. Thank you for the summary. Good job. You're very welcome. Okay. So a good number of my viewers has gone about some of their day-to-day activity. If there's anyone who is here who wants to ask your questions, do well to ask your questions now. But if there are no questions to ask, I think that'll be it. So do well to like, share, subscribe. Now, the truth has to be said. Some of you should get comfortable with the truth. If you're not comfortable with the truth, well, that's your choice. I'm telling you the truth. And some of you who may not be so sure of the information I'm giving, then do well to come into the meeting tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday, which is also another founders meeting to ask the administration. But if you think what I'm saying is the truth, then get yourself together. Let's move forward. All right. So I don't think there's anyone who wants to ask any question. It's a pleasure having you guys stay till this point. I do appreciate. Till I come your way again some other time, most likely on Thursday. Cheers and God bless you. Bye for now.